Hey everybody, welcome to McKellar Motivational Monday. Today's Monday, and today I'm excited to talk to you guys. I had a few days vacation with my husband, which I've been posting about on Instagram and a little bit on, so Instagram and Facebook. Sorry, I didn't turn my ringer off. That could be interesting. My sister will send me like pictures of her niece, of my niece and nephew, her kids, like just on a loop, so that could be buzzing a lot. Hey guys, so anyway, and today we're going to be talking about temptation, which is, I think, a topic we haven't talked about yet. So I'm excited to talk about that too. Yes, we drove through a tree. Yeah, they're sending pictures of my niece and nephew. That's going to be buzzing. So, hi. So today I'm on Periscope, Facebook, and Instagram, different order because I had an issue with one of my devices, and it for some reason wouldn't connect to Periscope. That's why there was a slight delay too. I thought I was going to be going on closer to like 6:35. Yes, Young Justice is coming back next week for the second part of the third season. That's exciting too. Yeah, so I was in Northern California and drove through a tree. Like, we were supposed to drive through a tree. It's not like I had an accident. It's a drive-through tree. It's been there for hundreds of years, I guess. Sorry. It's going to keep happening. Well, as long as she's sending me pictures. The devil on my shoulder. Oh, temptation? Right. Exactly. But before we talk about temptation, which I do want to talk about, that is our topic, I want to talk to you guys about you for a minute. Where are you from? So, Texas, where are you watching from right now? Because I love hearing about that. And what's going on with Periscope? No, this is Facebook. Is Facebook working? Facebook talked to me. You were working and now everything stopped. But I'm not necessarily that good at Facebook, so I want to make sure I didn't mess something up. Well, Facebook... that didn't work. So Northern California, Tennessee, Alberta, very cool. Yes, this is Periscope, and this is Facebook, and this is Instagram. The tree, I believe, is still growing, but I'm not 100% sure. It's still standing. You're from Kansas City? Awesome. Thank you. Kentucky. Facebook hit a tree. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Facebook. I think it might be this device. I keep just changing where the camera faces, which is ridiculous. So we'll find out later if it actually worked on Facebook or not. I'm sorry, Facebook, if you guys can't participate. Find me on Periscope and Instagram right now, and I'll be able to talk to you. I do live in California. I'm streaming from 2 iPads and a phone. Yeah. Philadelphia, Virginia. All right, so our topic today is temptation. And why are we talking about temptation? Because this weekend... my husband and I went to this really cool black sand beach, and it was gorgeous, but also extremely dangerous. You weren't allowed to go into the water because people have died. Many people have died there, I guess, and there were signs all over. If you go on my Insta stories, and I guess on Facebook stories too, you'll see the signs. I Insta story because it was ridiculous. It was so funny. I mean, look, important though. People literally have died there, so we didn't go in the water. We didn't hit a tree. We just drove through a tree. Like, there's a big opening in the tree that you can drive through. It's a thing in the redwoods. So you saw the sign, Nefarious? You did too, Ray? Yeah, it's funny. They were like, it was like, danger, danger, okay, danger. And it's like, lives have been lost. Like, okay, we get it. Don't go in the water. But it was so tempting. You wanted to go in the water. I was so tempted. And the black pebbles were just like running across each other and make this great like pebbly sound with every wave that retreated. It was just stunning. It was like 70 degrees. It was perfect weather. It was beautiful, and I just wanted to get in the water, but of course I didn't because it was really dangerous. People have died. But it got me thinking about temptation and just how we deal with it in general. I am a married woman. I didn't see the comments that you're talking about, Crispy Lee, but thank you for whatever that was. Draco was not there. He was with his dad. This was just me and my husband. So, yeah, South America. I've heard that Australia has really dangerous oceans as well. Hey, fiance Susan from Uncle Matt's Kitchen. Hey, vegan runner Chief. Thanks, Joey. I did not do anything with my hair. I got the highlights in it still, but I just washed it. So temptation. Okay, so you got treats. What do you guys, there's all different kinds of temptation, all different kinds. There's temptation with food, there's temptation with people, there's temptation with locations. And there's something that I try to keep it simple. When I'm talking to my brain and trying to reprogram my brain, I try to keep it simple. And so one of the things that I've devised is what I call the so what trick. So what? But I really, really, really want that thing, and I want it, but I really want it. So what? Okay. As you become an adult and you mature, you realize that you don't get to have the stuff that you want all the time. How many times do we tell this to our kids? Well, you can't have that right now. I know you want it, but you can't have it. And we expect that they're going to be reasonable about it. We expect that they're going to be like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, no, I want it, but it's okay to want something and not get it. It's okay to want something, and even if you could, right? Even if it's okay. We're not going to die. Like, it's okay. Although if you go in the water, you might die, right? We all say that to our kids, right? You stomp the ground to push the devil down. That works for me. I love that, Johnny. That is so cool. Whether or not you believe in the devil or whatever, I love the idea of stomping on the ground, like a physical thing that you do. Stomp it out, and right? It's simple. Keep it simple. When we're trying to get control of our brains and our will and all that, you got to keep it simple, or you can talk yourself out of it. If you try to make an argument, then the other side of your brain can come up with a counter argument. But you keep it simple. So what? So what? Yeah, but so what? Yeah, right? It's hard to argue with that. So what? Just keep coming back with that. Or yeah, like the stomping on the ground. I love that. My greatest fear, Titana, this is not the place to talk about greatest fears, but we're talking about like temptations. And how do we deal with that? How do you deal? I mean, it's hard. Willpower, sure, but that's just a word. What does it mean? Having control of our own minds is a lifelong pursuit. It's a lifelong pursuit. But little tricks. I have all these sorts of like little tricks. Distraction, that can work, Roxy, yeah. Choices, Ray, when you realize you have choices and you're making a choice, that's the other thing. If you're tempted by something, let's say you really want that chocolate donut. You're tempted by it. To me, it's about making conscious choices. So it's not like we shouldn't give in to temptation sometime. I just want to make sure, for me anyway, that it's an active choice. That I'm not like tempted. I'm like, I'll just take, I just want this thing. I'm just going to have it. No. If you want something, say, well, I want that. And I know it's not that good for me. But you know what? In this moment, I'm choosing to have that. And I'll choose the stomach ache or the extra pound I'm going to gain from it, or the feeling of sluggishness or the lack of health or whatever it is that I'm choosing. As long as I'm actively choosing it, then to me, that's okay. Then the next time I want that donut, I'm like, well, am I going to make this choice again now? Okay, well, what kind of life am I crafting for myself? But just being aware of it, say it out loud. If you just quickly do something that you know you're not supposed to do, and you sort of hide it from yourself, then you'll just keep doing it, and it's going to get worse and worse. So how do we deal with temptation? If you know it's not a good idea, so I want something and I can't have it, so what? What would I say to my kid? It's not good for you. You can't have it. And I'm not just talking about sweets. I'm really not. This even applies to temptation. Like let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and you see somebody else that looks awfully good. You could just say to yourself, well, I'm attracted to that person, but you know what? So what? So what? It doesn't mean you have to do something about it. So the bottom line is, when you have a temptation, it doesn't mean you have to do something about it. And I think that if we can tell our brains that by using this simple phrase, so what, then we have a chance. Now, are any of these tips or tricks that we talk about every week, are any of them foolproof? No. I mean, it's a complicated life. But I want to give you little tips and tricks that might just help. Oh, my Facebook video has ended suddenly. Post this video to keep it. Okay, I'll post it. I have no idea how that all just happened. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Well, thank you, Minor Pride. I tell you to throw the rest of the food in the garbage if you're tempted to finish eating it. Yeah, if you're eating something that's really bad for you in your home, especially, then, and you're like, I shouldn't have any more of this, and you really mean it, what I'll do is I'll take a bite, and while I'm chewing, I throw the rest in the trash. But you have to throw it away right then. Like, if you finish swallowing your bite, you'll have another bite. That's one of my tricks, too. Slickster, I try to go on Periscope every Monday. It doesn't always happen. Your children will live by what they see. We need more action and less talk. Yeah, it's so true. The reward lasts longer than the temptation. I think so, Nefarious. I think so. Hey, Chris Bradshaw. Hello, Dominican Republic. The whole country. Yes, just say no. Yes, my Impractical Jokers episode, yes. Oh, by the way, Marie Christie, your comment a moment ago about my books, I really appreciate it. I just couldn't say anything. Thank you. I'm glad the books are helping. That makes me very happy. And I love it when you guys post pictures. So I write math books, for those of you who don't know. Thank you. Anytime you post pictures or send me pictures of your kids in my books, it makes me so happy. I just love it. So thank you. Well, there's an interesting point about wasting food. So, you know, if you had poison, if you were offered poison, so well, you can either take this poison or you can throw it away, would you consider throwing away the poison as wasteful? My sister is sending me texts again. I just forgot to turn the volume off my phone. How do I control temptation? Well, what I was saying before is my so what trick. So if I really want something, I really want it, but I shouldn't have it, and I really know that I shouldn't have it, whatever it is, whether it's an action I want to take, or it's food that I want to eat, or even a line of thinking that I shouldn't go down, think, well, so what? You know, yeah, I want to do that such and such, but so what? So what? It's not going to kill me not to do it. And I'm making an active choice right now. I'm making a conscious, active choice. Yes, and somebody else gave a great idea on here that I loved, which is stomping on the floor, stomping out the devil, he said. So whether or not you believe in the devil, I love the physical, bringing it into your body. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My sister sends me, she'll send me 20 pictures of her son and her daughter. She's not on social media. Sometimes I wish she were just on social media. Oh my gosh, and she could just post them there, but she doesn't. She texts, it's a big text chain, and oh, thank you, Scarvella. I appreciate that. Facebook is the devil, Travis? Well, here's an interesting point. Social media is something that for me, I'm on it more than I want to be. And I was thinking, actually, while we're doing this, I wonder if I could apply that to social media. Like, well, I just really want to check. Okay, but I have something else I got to do. So what if I really want to, I'll really be okay. Sometimes it's someone else's opinion of what's right or wrong. And it's better to, don't quite understand what you're saying. But yeah, you want to make sure that it's what you think that counts. And if you want to eat a bunch of gross food and you want to, I'm calling it gross, it's a judgment. If you want to eat a bunch of food that's not particularly healthy for you, and you just want to do that, and you know what the consequences are, you know it's slightly worse health and it's slightly more weight gain or whatever it is, you are in full power to make that choice. And if that's the choice you want to make it. Absolutely. Just know that you're making it. Just know that you're making it so that you don't feel like a victim to your own life. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of overweight, but whatever. So, and it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm an actress. I have to keep my weight down or I don't work. But if you, at least the kind of roles that I get, if you want, that's okay. Be the person you want to be and embrace that and own it. You know, I'm just saying, be in control of it. Just be in control of it so that you're making those choices. You know, there are consequences to everything we do. And there are pros and cons to every choice we make. Every one of them. Ben & Jerry's is so good it's worth a few pounds. Fantastic. And that's exactly it. It's sort of cost analysis. I don't know math software, actually. A boy with autism, I don't know how old he is, but a lot of kids have used, with autism and other learning disabilities, have used my books. It's because they're very conversational. Like middle school, Math Doesn't Suck. It's a very conversational book, and I've had a lot of really great feedback from special needs parents of kids. Yeah, you have to own up to your own decisions. Absolutely. I don't know where Fred is at this very moment. I'm sorry to say I don't. Yeah, decide what you want to do and do it. And then if you're tempted by something else and it's not in line with what you want to do, that's when you say, well, so what? That's not part of my plan. Compromised for most temptations, moral judgments for the... My sister does not, but she's not on social media. Well, thank you, Shot in the Dark. My eyebrows on fleek. I haven't heard that expression a lot. Is that still being used? I think that's like the thing that young kids say, right? Which I'm not. I'm not young, so I don't know. I do a lot of yoga every night, actually. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot. I would say I do it every night for like 15 minutes. Oscar Wilde said, the only way to get rid of a temptation is to yield to it. That's funny. That's very funny. Which part sounds a little like judgment? By the way, GLP, a lot of things sound a little like judgment. And here's the other thing. Judgment isn't the end of the world. Evaluating things is good. It's good. It's important. There's so much PC, I don't want to call it red tape, but there's a lot of eggshell walking these days, which I get some of it, and some of it it's just exhausting. You know, and yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to talk about that, except to say that it is important for us to evaluate the things in our lives around us that we like and that we don't like, the things that are going to help us achieve our own goals, the things that aren't going to, and whether or not, you know, and here's the other key, is that something that's right for you might not be right for someone else. And so it's important for us not to put our own judgments as much as we can on other people. But the truth is, we are all, you know that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus? The idea is that it can be challenging for men and women to communicate because we speak different languages, is really what it was saying. It's almost like there's a different culture of men and women. I'm just paraphrasing. I found, and that's also true for different cultures in the world. We might do things a certain way, and to someone else, another culture, it might be extremely offensive. And they would judge us very much for that. But for us, it's no big deal. I forget what country it is that you're supposed to leave one bite of food on your plate when you're done. Otherwise, it's seen as you're expecting more, and it's rude. But like in the United States, you're supposed to eat all your food. And so that kind of thing, you could be you could really offend somebody. And what I believe is happening maybe is that everybody in this world, although we are very connected, a lot of times we are all speaking different languages because we all come from different backgrounds. We all have very different experiences and very different childhoods and upbringings and the values that we're taught and the things we're exposed to. And because of that, it's so easy to offend each other without trying and without meaning to, or seeming like we're judging and we're not, or maybe we're... So it's so important for us to try to remember to keep our own, reference point as ourselves and not other people. Anyway, I hope I expressed any of that at all the way it was in my head. There's one more thing, and I'm going to make this a whole different topic some other time. But in terms of taking control of our brains, in addition to the so what exercise, which it works for me. I want something and I can't have it, whatever it is, or I shouldn't have it, I should say. I shouldn't have it. Then I say, well, you know what? So what that I want that thing, right? Another trick, and I haven't used it myself yet, which is why I'm not making it a full topic yet, but I think that you write something on a piece of paper, something that's getting you down, whatever it is, and you say to that piece of paper, you're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of you. And then rip it up or flush it down the toilet, or I don't know. You're not the boss of me, or just keep it. Keep it in your desk. Keep it on, and anytime you're getting down, you pick it up and say, you're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of you. You could burn it, I guess, but then it's gone, and it's probably, burning seemed so violent. But like, yeah, maybe keep it, right? You're not the boss of me, I'm the boss of you. And this is partially inspired by my grandmother, who died, 9 years ago now almost. And she talked about how she quit smoking. And she held up the little cigarette and she said, "You're not the boss of me." And she flushed it down the toilet and never smoked again. I've never gotten addicted to cigarettes. I only tried one once and I liked it so much that I never touched it again. Because I just don't like the idea of being addicted to something. But I love that. So I cannot speak to the difficulty of quitting smoking. I've heard it's incredibly difficult. But the fact that she was able to do that, you're not the boss of me, I'm the boss of you. Let's face it, how many things in this life, like I'm going to end up doing this now, how many things in this life do we feel out of control of? So it's nice to feel like you're in control a little bit. And we're more in control than we realize of a lot of things. So showing pre-algebra who's boss. Yes, Ray, that's one of my books. Kiss My Math. Showing pre-algebra who's boss. All right, so just food for thought. I need to wrap this up. I hope you like the so what exercise. When you're being tempted by something, doesn't mean you have to get, so what? So what, self? You're being tempted? All right. What else you got? Pro tip, don't actually talk to objects, especially at work. But I think you can do it at home. I think you're all right. All right, guys. Remember, a little piece of paper, whatever's getting you down. And I have to do more research. Like, what kinds of things are we talking about? Are we talking about, not people. Don't ever write somebody's name on that. That wouldn't be right. More like an addiction, sure. Or temptation. Or a deadline. I got a deadline. I got book deadlines that are driving me crazy. Book deadline. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of you. I'm gonna make my deadline. You watch me. You're not. And so it's more about burning that feeling of insecurity, and fear or distress and owning it and getting on top of it. So hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful week. Tell me how it goes with your so what exercise and even the you're not the boss of me, I'm the boss of you exercise. Again, remember, never people, just things you're going through. And I will see you all very soon again on the Danny Cam. You are the G Squad. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for all your follows and your shares and all of your comments and everything else. I really, really appreciate it. And Danny Cam, like as in Danica McKellar, but just the M, and it's like Danica Camera. I don't know. All right, guys. I'll see you. Bye.